Check 1, 2. It's the Y2K Collector, and it has been a fantastic week, I gotta say. Luckily, we've been able to complete the renovations of the bathroom, and in the midst of all the madness, I did get an opportunity to run out and take a look at what the retro game market looks like today. And I gotta be honest, folks, it doesn't look that good. GameStop, their major sale has passed, and I recently stopped in there to see, if there were any leftover goodies, and everything there just seemed so overpriced. I was just blown away at some of the prices that I saw. Nothing too enticing, to say the least. We actually wound up staying local this weekend because we had a few errands to run, a few things to get, and while we were out and about, I realized that we were near a few game stores that I've been to in the past. One in particular that tends to carry a lot of really cool retro games. This is one of those stores that has everything from NES games to Atari to Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. And on my way to that store with the family, I was excited to finally be able to see some unique and fresh titles, or at least see some games that I know are exclusive, but I just hadn't seen in a while. And when I got to the store, I realized how inflated some of these prices were. My mind was blown when I saw what they were asking for consoles that I know can easily be found online for a lot cheaper. It just seems like when you go to a retro game store these days, the prices are just inflated by 20 to 15 to 20%. And I guess, times have changed because, when I got to the game store, yeah, they had some stuff. And the store was stocked, but I feel like in a lot of these game stores, the shelving space is being replaced by more pops, more plushies, more toys, and less actual video games. Now, of course, when you go through the aisles of the common stuff, they've got common stuff for days. They had, aisles and aisles of PlayStation 2 commons, PlayStation 3 commons, Xbox 360 commons. And if you're in the market to kind of find some more of those filler titles, quality games, but just perhaps games that aren't really exclusive or highly sought after, then now is definitely the time for you to get out there and see what you can find, because and I'm sure like most retro game stores, this store had an abundance of just more of the common titles. I mean, a ton of them. And usually when retro game stores have that many common games available, usually that means that you're going to be able to get a decent deal. Now, I am looking for some of the Spider-Man games. They did have a copy of The Amazing Spider-Man, but even the common games were really being listed at like eBay prices. They had The Amazing Spider-Man for roughly around $25, which to me didn't really seem like too much of a deal. They weren't running any kind of like buy two, get one or buy three, get one that I've seen certain retro game stores kind of offer. So that was, wasn't much for me to really take advantage of. Now, the main reason why I actually went to this retro game store is because I am looking for some NES games to add to my collection. And they definitely have a good selection of NES games, but because PlayStation 3 has also been on my mind, I did go through their PlayStation 3 section and spend a lot of time looking at the PlayStation 3 games. I feel like now more than ever is a great time to look at PlayStation 3 games because everyone is just so obsessed with the Xbox 360 and the closing of the 360 store that I feel like there are a lot of really good PlayStation 3 games that are kind of not necessarily under the radar, but that you'll probably be able to get at still a very good deal. A lot of really cheap PlayStation games PlayStation 3 games, that is, that you'll be able to get your hands on without necessarily breaking the bank. So if you're in the market for more common games, $100 will take you a long way, because you'll be able to pick up anywhere from 5 to even 10 quality titles on, systems like the PlayStation 3 or even systems like the Xbox 360. Now, I did make my way to the Xbox 360 section just to see if there was anything in there that might have caught my eye. And I'll be honest, it's kind of weird, but I remember going to this store and seeing a lot of really good, quality games on the shelf where you would see a lot of the common games. So games that would probably be maybe in the $25 to $40 range, they were in an abundance. But now I'm looking and I'm seeing the $30 and $40 games in the glass case. And it looks like the shelves are really just filled with a bunch of sports titles and I don't know, a lot of games that, I wouldn't think, these are just not, it's not the way the store looked maybe about a year or two ago. And that's not just this store, but that's a lot of stores. Just a lot of these stores, they just had so much more quality. And now, I'm seeing some of the more common games behind the glass case, with the exception, of course, of Godzilla. They did have that on the PlayStation 4, but I'm seeing games like Persona 5, in the glass case. I don't know. Just, I don't know if this is an indication of what I was mentioning in a video where I posted basically saying that, a lot of the quality titles have found their final destination in collectors' homes. And now when I look in the glass case, I'm seeing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, SNK versus Capcom. I'm just seeing more games that are in the lower range. But I got the two games that I was looking for, which was Double Dragon 3 and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. I was happy to get those two games and make my way out. So not a lot in terms of pickups for me this weekend or even this week outside of the GameStop pickups that I've been able to show on the channel. So more to come though. I definitely have more NES pickups on the way. Looking forward to the ones that are coming in and sharing those with the channel. Now, I did just want to take a moment to pause and say a huge thank you to everyone who's subscribed to the channel, to everyone who watches the content. It's crazy that we're coming up on 3,000 subscribers, and I kind of just wanted to take a moment to talk about that real quick because I've gotten a lot of comments in the last couple of weeks from, different YouTubers who kind of have a lot to say about my channel, right? And, if this is maybe your first time watching me or checking me out, I started this channel during the pandemic, and really it was meant to be kind of like a video diary, a safe space for me to just, unload some of my thoughts on video games, which at the time I was getting very heavy into, just as a way of finding something to do because we were social distancing. We couldn't do much outside. For the most part, we had to stay indoors, and video games was my escape. And, I've never really looked at YouTube as something for me to do full time. It's always been a hobby. And the content that I make is really more so meant to be listened to. And I get a lot of comments on my channel about, my filming style and my editing style. And I'll just say this. The only time that I get negative comments on my channel are from people who either have less subscribers or they look like maybe at one point they attempted to grow their channel and just failed, and they've been on YouTube for decades and haven't really achieved success. I find that the negative comments come from those channels the most, and I'm not sure what that's about, but I've gotten comments from Retro Rick, which are positive. I've gotten comments from JRPG Life, which were positive. Heck, I even gotten some comments from Heck and Steve, which weren't negative, to say the least. So, it usually seems like the channels that are doing well have a lot of positivity to share. And for the most part, there's a lot of positivity on YouTube, but there tends to be that one conglomerate of folks who, I don't know, they just wake up they just wake up either disgruntled or mad that they're not where they want to be. And it's like that classic saying of those who can't do, teach, or those who can't do, coach. And I've never really seen anyone doing better with anything negative to say. And, you know, for anyone who has anything, if you want to offer me advice, if you want to give me anything constructive, you can find me on Instagram at y2kcollector.yt. That's where you can find me there. And I'm more than happy to have constructive conversation with you there. But if you're coming to the channel just to spread hate, you're going to be hidden faster than, I don't know, you're going to be hidden faster than a side chick. So, because it's not about spreading hate over here. It's about the positivity. That's what it's about on this channel. And, you know, if you appreciate the content, the video style, the content format, then continue watching. I never really ask anyone to subscribe because this is a subscribe at your own risk channel. But for those of you who do like it and do stick around, we appreciate you over here. So that does it for me. I'm the Y2K Collector. Hopefully you had a great weekend and spent some time with your loved ones. Until the next time, take it easy.